Welcome back to Coffee with Cannell and our series on how YouTube works. This series is going to help you understand YouTube so that you can get more views, grow your subscribers, and make money on YouTube. And this is a very practical series. You know, YouTube recently released an article and a detailed breakdown of how their products work, including YouTube search, including YouTube recommended videos. And so, you know, there's a lot of YouTube experts, so-called, out there in the world with a lot of opinions. And I certainly share my opinions as well. But here's the deal. This information is straight from the source, straight from YouTube themselves. And we're going to be breaking it down and looking at it in detail so you can get an edge on YouTube by really understanding what it takes to rank your videos in search, how YouTube search works, and how you can get massive views in the process. And here's the cool thing. 65% of people use YouTube to help them solve a problem. So tell me in the comments, what problem do you solve with your YouTube channel? And what problem does your videos solve? You know, there's two main categories on YouTube. You can either be in entertainment or education. And at Think Media and Think Marketing, we really help people that are educators, that want to help people solve problems. But even entertainers solve the problem of boredom. They solve the problem of people needing an escape. So tell me in the comments, what problem do you solve? But this shows us that YouTube, again, is the second largest search engine in the world, and 65% of people use YouTube to help them solve a problem. So if you're fired up for today's Coffee with Cannell, hit the like button. Let me know what problem your channel solves. And we're going to be talking about how YouTube search works and 4 tips for hacking the YouTube algorithm. We're going to bust some myths that a lot of YouTube experts spread, even though YouTube themselves contradict those myths. We're going to talk about tips for how you can hack the YouTube algorithm and get more views and subscribers. And we're also going to talk about what channel authority is and why it matters. And today's episode is brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com. This is our 1-hour class that we've created here at Think Media to actually go in depth. It's an hour long to show you how to leverage YouTube search and suggested videos, hack the algorithm, and really build a high impact and high profit channel. And it's been updated for 2021. And so if you have not registered for that yet, thinkmasterclass.com, link in the description below. And do not miss out on that. Here are some screenshots, and all of the information in this video is taken directly from a YouTube article. And this is a screenshot that says, with over 500 hours of content uploaded to YouTube every minute. Take a breath. 500 hours uploaded every minute, right? Finding what you need would be nearly impossible without some help sorting through all of the videos. So this is YouTube. In this video, YouTube explains to us how their search function works. And this becomes really important because if you're going to stand out in the sea of noise on YouTube, you have to understand these principles. Because don't worry about the volume of content or the volume of competition. Find a way to be a meaningful specific in a world of wandering generalities. You got to find a way to really carve out your niche and make sure you're making specific videos that are answering specific questions and leveraging these tips and tools. And here's a quick story that illustrates this. This is Nolan Molt from the Think Media team. He's one of the content creators on our Think Media channel, a cinematographer, has worked on TV shows in LA, and really a camera expert. And he's really been getting into grilling with his wife, Madeline, in LA. And they've been grilling up all kinds of different stuff, different meats, different vegetables. And so he was going to YouTube to look for information for something to grill. And he looked for how to barbecue kebabs. Okay. And so when we talk about YouTube search and what is a ranked video, well, ranked video is a video that shows up in the top results of YouTube search. And the top result for that search term was this video called Kebabs on the Grill, Simple and Easy. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can see which channel it's from. It is by Sean Cannell, right? This video is from my personal channel, and this video came out 12 years ago. So all of a sudden, Nolan is trying to figure out how to barbecue kebabs on the grill. And he at first doesn't even recognize this as me because it looks like I just got hit by a truck in the opening of that video, as you could see on my face there. But I was on vacation with my wife, Sonia. I got up from a nap and I was like, let's make a video because we're going to cook these kebabs. But I did some strategic things to this video. And years later, over 448,000 views later, Nolan stumbles over the video completely on his own and was like, oh my gosh, like the stuff that we talk about, whether that's in our advanced trainings like Video Reiki Academy or whatever. He's like, dude, Sean's like been doing this, man. Like, what the heck? Now he's teaching me how to grill kebabs, which in these days I was testing these strategies and these things. But here's the deal. YouTube's always constantly updating. And now YouTube is telling us exactly how they rank videos. But here's the power of it. And this is what you want to master, because what would it be worth to you to get a video that has 448,000 views? What would it be worth to you to get a video that's being viewed 8 years after you create it? 8 years after you create it. This is why YouTube's the best social network on the planet, period, because it's leverage. You create a piece of content once, if you do it right, if you position yourself in the right niche with the right strategy, and that video can get views, subscribers, grow your business, generate income, help you create freedom for your family, for weeks, months, and even years to come. Over 8 years is even possible. And this is just one super random example that just happened recently. And here's what's crazy is by mastering YouTube search, it's changed my life. Mastering YouTube search has changed my life. I've grown multiple YouTube channels to over 2 million subscribers combined. Another one's about to go over 100,000 subscribers for another silver play button. And it's not just changing my life. It's actually changed multiple of our students' lives who've even started from scratch, literally from zero, and grown past 100,000 subscribers. Many people have created part-time and full-time incomes, all from the power of what we're learning in this video. So here's the question. Where do YouTube views come from, right? Where do YouTube views come from? There's a lot of different places, but there's a few main sources. And when we look at Think Media in 2019, YouTube search was responsible for 43% of the traffic. That means the views on the channel. Think Media got around 20 million views in 2019, and that means around 10 million from search. Now, we have to acknowledge that different channels and different niches and different industries have different places where their traffic comes from. Think Media is a utility channel. It is an education channel. It helps people solve a problem. And again, if you had to choose between entertainment and education, I would choose education 9 times out of 10. Entertainment, you're a musician, you're a comedian, even you're kind of a vlogger, although if you do it right, you can apply these strategies. You're trying to entertain people. It's kind of a different conversation, and there's maybe even other people to watch in terms of trying to figure out how to grow those types of channels. I also think that it's very difficult. It's kind of like trying to get an acting job in Hollywood. Like there's a lot of competition. But when you go into education, search-based content, utility-based channels, I actually believe it's not just easier, it's practical to build a 5-6-figure income, to build up your channel, because it is actually solving a specific problem. And YouTube is very much an entertainment platform, but it's also an education platform. And with the pandemic and the lockdown and everything, massive people are thinking about YouTube in terms of education. And so this kind of proves and shows how much, 10 million views in 2019 on Think Media came from creating search-based content. Not only that, but over 1 million views, 1.1 million views came from Google search. Now, I don't have a good website. I don't have a legit blog. I'm not good at WordPress SEO. I don't even have a WordPress site. I've just got a random website that's been updated 3.5 years ago or something like that. But YouTube is our main traffic source, home-based traffic driver, of course, email list, and of course, website for practical things. But YouTube is the main place. Just creating YouTube videos, 1.1 million views have been earned from Think Media, from Google search, because never forget, Google owns YouTube, right? So very, very powerful. And so here are the 4 factors that are outlined from YouTube themselves, straight from the source, that influence YouTube search. Here's how they determine it. Number 1 is relevance. Number 2 is engagement. Number 3 is quality. And number 4 is search and watch history. We're going to explain all 4. I'll repeat all 4, and I'll give you tips on each one. Number 1 is relevance. Number 2 is engagement. Number 3 is quality. Number 4 is search and watch history. And we're going to be looking through the exact quotes from YouTube themselves. So hit like if you're getting value so far. Number 1, relevance. And I quote, "To estimate relevance, we look into many factors, such as how well the title, tags, description, and video content match your YouTube search query." End quote. All right. So the first factor to determine if your videos are going to rank. And here's what's interesting. This article is actually speaking more to the viewer. They're telling the viewer how YouTube works, but you and I, the creator, can learn so much from this article. And I've linked it up in the description below, by the way. So let's break this down. To estimate relevance. So YouTube wants your video to be relevant to a person that's looking for something. The way they determine that is the title. So you got to master titles. Interestingly enough, is the tags, said straight from the horse's mouth. Now, there's some people who say tags don't matter. And YouTube has also said they don't matter nearly as much as they did. Tags are not going to change your life or change your video's life. But some people say they don't matter at all. If YouTube tells me they matter, then I'm going to pay attention, and they obviously matter. Description, the words you put in your YouTube description, the content you put in the description of your YouTube video, it matters. But most of all, the video content itself. See, what we call title and tags and description, all that stuff, we call it metadata. It's the metadata around your video. And even though YouTube now can like literally watch your video and it like sees there's a man's face, a woman's face, there's like nature, there's a bird. It sees a lot of things just in creating the video content itself. The words and the metadata that you put around your video matters so that YouTube has a starting point of whether or not your video should show up in search or what your video is about. Now, I would say that based on my experience, again, it is the content yourself that matters most. But here's something that maybe some wouldn't notice. The key here is then match your search query. So if you want to rank your videos, it's not just like getting your title, your tags right, like the actual topic itself or how relevant it is to the person that's searching for it really matters. Therefore, what do I mean? How you architect your content needs to be in congruence and in alignment with what someone's actually looking for. Therefore, if someone comes to YouTube with a problem and what kind of words are they using? What kind of words are they typing in? What kind of content are they looking for? If you basically serve up content that is cooked to perfection for what it is they're looking for, or as close as possible, then that viewer satisfaction will be there and you could get your video to show up in the search query and keep showing up there. All right. A lot of fancy words. This is a deep episode. Let me know if you've been getting value so far by gently touching the like button and telling me, well, that hurt my head. And we're going to go deeper. Like this is a deep strategy session, but here we go. Here's the takeaways. Number one, master metadata. This takes time to learn. Make a commitment to learning how to master metadata on YouTube. Number two, content is king. That's forever true on social media, the internet. Content is king. Like the content in your video really matters. Cream always rises to the top, no matter how many cups of coffee you pour. You have to have great content when it comes to your videos. But here's another one that I think people miss. To the degree that you understand the viewer, you will win or lose on YouTube. Here's how another way I'd put it. The creators who understand the viewer the best win. Yeah. The creators who understand the viewer the best win. Let me throw a word at you. Psychology, mindset. If you understand how the viewer, the searcher is thinking, and you architect content for them using the words they use, you're going to win or lose based on the degrees with which you understand the viewer. I would argue that if you go, oh, that's easy. I totally understand the viewer. I don't think I do. I think at arguably an advanced level, have built a big business, 12 full-time people on Think Media, multiple YouTube channels. We're obsessed with trying to understand the viewer still, and it's a lifelong process and journey. In business, a similar perspective is it's the business that understands the customer best wins. So you apply that to YouTube, you got to understand and basically kind of get inside of the mind of who the viewer is. And I've noticed a lot of people kind of create selfish content. They're sort of just like in their own bubble. They're not thinking about other people or understanding other people, kind of just saying what they want to say, creating what they want to create, sort of just speaking what they want to speak, assuming a lot of things. And so to the degree with which you understand the viewer, you'll win. And here's another big one. Your choice of your YouTube channel topic. This cannot be understated. One of the greatest levers you have for YouTube success is actually choosing the right niche. So if you go, well, I don't get a lot of views. Well, is anyone even looking for your kind of content? My videos just, no one's like really searching for them. Then go and create something that people are actually searching for. Like, you can create whatever you want. It's your tube, right? It's YouTube. But your choice of actually choosing to position yourself in a niche that is highly searched, of course, affects whether or not you win with YouTube search. Well, Sean, there's big creators that don't even like use tags and use metadata, and they create like prank videos. That's a whole different strategy, and that's great. Like, study that out if that's your thing. But if you want to leverage, the topic of this video is YouTube search. So if you want to leverage YouTube search, make sure you choose a highly searched niche. Okay, let me know if you get value out of this video so far. That was just number one. This is what YouTube is telling us. Here's the second quote: engagement. So the first thing they look for is relevance, and they defined, by the way, just some of the signals. Like, they don't actually tell us every single signal, but the fact they chose to list titles, tags, description, as well as how well YouTube's choice of words, and I definitely recommend reading the article with the link in the description. It helps us understand. Obviously, it's what they put weight on. Number two, engagement. Engagement signals are a valuable way to determine relevance. We incorporate aggregate engagement signals from users, i.e., we may look at the watch time of a particular video for a particular query to determine if the video is considered relevant to the query by users. So it's talking about engagement signals. What's an engagement signal? Well, engagement signals are any way the viewer has to engage with your video. This could include things like they can like the video, they can comment on the video, they could share the video, they can scrub on the video. Did you know YouTube knows if you touch a part or you rewind a part, that's real-time interaction on the video. However, the biggest engagement signals are things like click-through rate and watch time or average view duration, because that is me engaging with it. Like, if I walk into a grocery store and I spend 5 minutes looking at the apples, touching the apples, feeling the apples, and inspecting the apples, besides the fact that everyone watching me would be like, that's the weirdest dude ever. Why is he spending so much time touching all the apples? And that's unsanitary, especially during a pandemic or any time. But I would be engaging with the apples. I would be ignoring, there's all kinds of other produce in the produce section, but I'd be spending my time on the content. I would be touching the content. A click-through rate is engagement. You use your mouse to click on a video, or you use your finger to tap on a video on your smartphone. You just engage with it. Okay, wow, that person clicked on it. Oh, wow, now they're spending a minute on the video. They're spending 5 minutes on the video. They're spending 10 minutes on the video. So these are things that could be considered engagement signals. What are the tips? Lesser engagement signals are things like likes and comments. They matter. I am drifting into my opinion, to be clear here, and my experience. But from what we can see in terms of YouTube Studio and analytics, and we'll cover that in future videos, strong engagement signals, the two biggest ones, are like audience retention and click-through rate. Does the person click on the video? Do they go into the produce section and actually touch the product, put it in their cart and buy it? Or do they skip over it, right? And do they spend time? Like, how long do you keep the person watching? How many watch time minutes does the video get? So it's terms like audience retention, average view duration, and watch time. Those are what really matters. Views, of course, matter, but one view could be 1 second as opposed to somebody spending an hour long on your content. So there's different engagement signals. If you want your videos to show up in the top of search, you need people engaging with your content. So you need to create good content. You have to see, how do I increase audience retention? How do I increase watch time? How do I increase click-through rate? Good thumbnails. It kind of comes down to a lot of the basics that we learn around YouTube, but this is YouTube saying how they decide what shows up in YouTube search. Number three, finally, for quality, our systems are designed to identify signals that can help determine which channels demonstrate, listen, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness on a given topic. This is major, man. This is what we've been calling at Think Media channel authority, okay? And this is quote unquote from YouTube themselves. Their systems are looking for signals that help demonstrate channels that demonstrate expertise. If you want to be the go-to expert, you want to have expertise in a subject, then YouTube is going to rank your content higher. Authoritativeness. Okay, you're seen as an authority on something. And trustworthiness. How would they know? Well, one is when you build your content in a particular niche. For example, I'll give, like at Think Media, one of the biggest topics we've become known for is best camera for YouTube, anything to do with camera for YouTube. And as YouTube observes, the algorithms observe that people click on the video that I create called best camera for YouTube. They dwell on it, they watch it. And whenever I release videos in the future, subscribers and non-subscribers really like best camera for YouTube videos. They go, okay, this channel, maybe these other topics aren't getting engaged with as much that Sean creates, but whenever he talks about best camera for YouTube, people watch it, their viewer satisfaction is high, like they like it. Clearly there's an authoritativeness there and even a trustworthiness. Now, without going too far down any rabbit holes, just because someone watches an entire video doesn't mean that they trust you. But one of the ways people could signify trust of you is that they spend time with you. If you listen to somebody and instantly you're like, dude, this person's just BS, man. Like they don't even know what they're talking about. Like you're going to bounce off the video. But if you dwell on the video, it could signify trustworthiness. So the quality of the content. But here's what I really want you to see. At the end of this quote from YouTube, it says on a given topic. Is what's missed by most people. Everybody out here wants to do a variety channel, but YouTube wants and likes to categorize people and even stereotype people into a niche to say, man, this channel has authority, expertise, and is trustworthy about a particular topic. So it's like my friend Ben from Keto Camp. Here's a great point. His channel is about ketosis, about health, and all about keto, hence Keto Camp, right? If he creates a video and he has the best title and tags and description, best camera for YouTube, and I create a video, you know, title, tags, description, best camera for YouTube, and let's assume every single thing about the video is the same, I'm going to rank that video much higher than him, most likely, almost guaranteed, because YouTube is categorizing me and saying, well, Think Media has authority, expertise, and trustworthiness in a particular area because they've been being consistent. They've been building up momentum around a particular given topic. Furthermore, though, Ben is over here talking about keto, having keto interviews with experts, authors, being consistent, at least 2 videos a week, last couple of years, one of our VRA students, silver play button, crushing it, like building up his influence. But it's in a particular topic. So therefore, he gets a head start in that given topic because of his expertise, authority, and all of those things that are built in that area. So the takeaways from number 3, YouTube telling us how YouTube search works, is that channel authority is real, that you can build up your channel authority over time. And it's important, because they're going to rank videos in search based on expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, what we call channel authority. Secondly, focus on a specific topic and niche down. Keto Camp, barbecue, cameras, Adobe Premiere video editing software, makeup tips. The more you niche down, budget makeup tips, drugstore makeup, just the more you are in a particular topic, YouTube wants to, and you can build up authority and trustworthiness around that topic. And then finally, on number 3, consistency matters. And here's what I mean by that. Consistency matters. People go, oh yeah, I just need to upload a video every week. Shoot, man, I fell off the horse. How many videos you've been uploading a week? Tell me in the comments. How many videos you've been uploading a week? Consistency does not just mean upload videos on a regular basis, because you might be like, I'm uploading 7 videos a week, I'm consistent. I would challenge that. Do you have a consistent message also? Are you talking about a consistent topic also? Do you have a consistent brand as well? Are you consistent in terms of your value proposition, meaning the problem that you solve and what people look to you for? So consistency is not just about frequency. It's actually about congruency of your message, your branding, your videos, your topic, And when you dial that in, it boosts your channel authority. It boosts your expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness in YouTube's eyes. And now you're like, dang, I am ranking videos. I'm showing up in search more because of what YouTube calls quality. So hit like if you've been getting value, if you've learned anything in this video so far. We have the number 4th tip coming up. The question of the day, though, is what specific topic does your channel cover? And I really want you to drop that in the comments, because YouTube told us for a given topic, like they want you to cover a specific topic. So A, let me know if you have a specific topic. And B, if you don't, let me know how you're being challenged with this particular piece of information. Because Sean, can I still do a variety channel? My friend, you can do whatever you want. Like literally, literally do whatever you want. However, if you want to follow our playbook, which is proven and works, then maybe consider submitting what you want to what works and following a system, which would be saying, as frustrating as it is, or as limiting as it feels, YouTube is telling us that if I want search to work, I need to be in a particular given topic, a niche, a specific topic, to build my authority in that area, and then potentially consider pivoting your plan, pivoting your channel, pivoting your niche. But tell me, what topic do you cover? And as a reminder, today's video is brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com. Everything we're talking about here is coming straight from YouTube as a source, right? But I'm not going to get into a ton of strategies or a growth plan or our exact system for how we generate 57,000 views per day, as well as how we turn those views into income in multiple different ways. Free class. If you haven't watched it, it's new and updated for 2021, thinkmasterclass.com. So don't miss it. And then, of course, it's a free 1-hour class. At the end of it, I will tell you more about what our program for YouTube, it's our group coaching and online course called Video Ranking Academy. Whether that's not right for you or not, I want to encourage you, implement this information, implement what you're learning here, watch the free class, implement what you're learning there. But if you think, man, I want help, I want to be connected to a like-minded community of purpose-driven creators and entrepreneurs, then that are crushing it on YouTube, and really the most vibrant and tactical and strategic community for YouTube creators, is our Video Ranking Academy community and private Facebook group. You can learn more about that at the end of the free class, free transparency, so you just know the whole process. But check it out, thinkmasterclass.com, and I know you'll get massive value out of that as well. Number 4, search and watch history. So YouTube goes on in this article that's not long, but gives us some very critical information. In addition to those 3 main factors, which are the first 3 we covered, we strive to make search results relevant for each user. And we may also consider your search and watch history. What does that mean? That means that your search results are most likely different than my search results. And they could be influenced by your search and watch history, assuming you're logged in, or the viewer is logged in with a YouTube account, and your search history is being tracked, which it is, unless you turn that off. Secondly, even if you turn it off, it actually is still being tracked most likely, because that's how YouTube is recommending you videos. Thirdly, even if you're not logged in, but you have cookies turned on, and every website now, you go to a website and it's like accept cookies. So it pretty much forces it on you. YouTube is still studying basically that IP address, the use of Safari or Google Chrome or whatever browser. That's again how you go to a raw YouTube account, deleted cookies or whatever, and you start from scratch. Well, YouTube doesn't have any information. It might just throw you some videos from the trending page. As soon as you start giving YouTube information, it'll start adjusting what you're seeing in search and recommended videos, which is what we're going to talk about in the next part of this How YouTube Works series on Coffee with Cannell. So YouTube is taking into consideration your previous behavior. So let's read on. That's why your search results might differ from another user's search results for the same query. For example, if you were to watch a lot of sports videos and search for cricket, we might recommend videos featuring the sport cricket rather than nature videos with crickets in them. So you type in one word, cricket, and your past history is all kinds of sports and in Europe, and and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I assume you were wanting to watch cricket, the sport videos, versus you watch all kinds of nature videos and like 4K nature drone footage. Aren't those videos amazing? And it's like, well, this user likes nature. We're going to show them videos of crickets in them. So these nuances have to do with the fact that the viewer, each individual viewer's history is going to influence what is being shown to them. So here's some big takeaways. First of all, search results are different for different viewers. The key then is to understand the viewer. That might be stated simply, but I can't underestimate how profound it is. When you begin to understand the psychology of the viewer that you want to reach, this is why defining who's your target audience, but even deeper here on Think Marketing, where we're recording this during Coffee with Cannell, we talk about defining like your customer avatar or defining kind of your ideal client to the degree with which you understand the ideal viewer. Here's the thing. Who else do they follow? Like, what are they thinking about? What are their favorite brands? What are their favorite podcasts? What are their favorite blogs? What books are they reading? What movies do they probably watch? What TV shows do they watch? What are their habits? What are their life patterns? What are their political beliefs? What are their, and a lot of what I threw out there, may or may not be relevant, but think about it. To the degree that you understand the viewer, there's certain topics that might leap off the page for them, things that will they want to click on more, things that will stand out to them more. If you were going to do an interview show, there's certain guests that they would know and that they would probably click on, and maybe some that they wouldn't know that would maybe not do as well, because to the degree of you understanding who else they follow, or what type of people do they follow, or what kind of music are they into. And I'm getting very granular, but in general, it's simply identifying, do you understand the viewer? Now, chances are, and to make this a little easier, one of the best things to do is to create content for yourself. Now, don't get that wrong with me saying don't create selfish content. What I mean is to basically scratch your own itch, whereas you usually are your avatar. Meaning, I would assume if you're connected here on Think Marketing, you also are into personal development. You're into learning. You're obviously on a learning video right now, studying. You might know people. If you're watching this video, you might know who Roberto Blake is. You might know who Catherine Manning is, or Vanessa Lau is, or Tim Schmoyer, or Nick Nimmin. Let me know who are some of your favorite people that you follow online. Tell me in the comments, and I'll just see, especially during the live recording, if I'm completely off. You might, if you're into entrepreneurship, know who Grant Cardone is, or Gary Vaynerchuk is, or Marie Forleo. You might be into reading books or reading audiobooks, and maybe you've read the book Think and Grow Rich, or 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You, as we get more personal, probably have a core value, if you're part of our core community, of family, of being purpose-driven, of raising kids, of legacy, of impacting the next generation. Live, Metal Guy says Tim Schmoyer is amazing and Gary Vee is amazing. Mama Juice, Gary Vee, and Vanessa Lau. So my point is, as you begin to understand what's happening in your marketplace, it also could be getting ideas from the content that similar creators are creating. It could be even doing react videos to other creators' type of content. Now, you might get into, say, nerd culture or geek culture or comic book culture. It could have to do with like the products you review, understanding the MCU, the Marvel universe. It could be understanding DC versus Marvel versus Vertigo, like just to the degree with which you're immersed, understanding the conversations, the topics, the things that are happening in your industry. That can very much influence your strategy in the content that you create. Etta says, Brennan Burchard, love him. Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins. Those guys definitely, partner up. We've got Fire Over 50, Catherine Manning, Vanessa Lau, recent growth video live speakers. Even maybe how we pick our growth video live speakers. Like, are you seeing some things? Kyle Krantz, Pat Flynn, Income Stream. Come on, my man, Pat. Absolutely amazing. So you start seeing some overlap here, but the key is in your niche, you just want to understand the viewer. And I don't want you to get any like stuck in it around like it only has to do with who else they follow. I listed a whole list of these various things that could help you understand, how do I best serve the viewer? Where are they in life? What are their problems? Understanding your audience's problems and ambitions. to the greater degree that you can do that, to the greater degree of impact that you will have. Now, I've got another powerful tip for you, and then we're going to do some Q&A, but hit like if this has been pretty valuable for you. But here's a quick story to illustrate this. So I recently had a son. His name's Sean Bradley Cannell. At the time of recording, he is 6 weeks old. What a young legend. And so I've been spending a lot of time in new dad life, changing diapers, shushing, rocking the baby, trying to make him go to sleep, and taking him at night and in the morning. And so when we're hanging out, a lot of times after work, after I'm creating, I work from home, and I will maybe hang out with my wife and make some dinner. A lot of times we'll turn on YouTube on our smart TV, and we use actually an Apple TV. So I've got the Apple remote. So here's what's interesting about search is I actually YouTube search all night long, but I do it with audio. And it basically, I just press the little microphone, Siri opens up, and I say, Phil DeFranco YouTube, or I say, running a marathon YouTube. And here's some of the things I search. I've been searching for news, studying running. I've been studying the real estate market. I do a lot of personal finance, economy stuff, health and nutrition, faith and leadership stuff. There's certain people, I'll mention their name. And so two things are happening. Number one, YouTube search is absolutely happening around a particular type of person, me, that's searching for content. Two, it's building up this whole recommendations engine where now I just go to home and I'll just look at what YouTube's recommending to me. And the more data it has on me, like the better it serves content to me. And that's a conversation we're going to have in part 2 of this series. But let's just talk about running. So I will, as I'm dictating these things and running, what is my psychology as a runner? I'm somebody who's spending money on the sport. I'm in a place of economic stability. So I'm buying running shoes, I'm buying running gear, I'm buying running gels. So I'm watching like Seth James. I'm discovering new creators. I'm wanting to know, how do I run a marathon, which I haven't yet, but I've run 2 halves in under like 4.5, under 4. I'm kind of thinking, but 4.5 will probably be my target for the first one. Videos are being recommended to me. And then I'm also going down rabbit holes of search. But the creators that are, there's a lot of people earning views from me in running. Exercise, avoid injury prevention, best shoes, how to hit certain times, biggest mistakes. And so it can lead to all kinds of things. Affiliate marketing with running shoes, tank tops, shorts, linerless shorts, like all of the things. And I'm just saying all of that because I am not just a creator, I'm also a viewer. You're not just a creator, you're a viewer. How well do you understand the viewer? If you really want to master YouTube search, you need to discover your audience's problems and ambitions and really understand your viewer. One of the best ways to do that is to think about your own behavior. One of the other best things to do is to, if all you're actually doing is creating, I know you should put your head down and create. I also need you consuming. It's create over consume, but if you want to understand YouTube, you need to watch YouTube. Seems obvious. But I'm often shocked that some of the people who want to be powerful creators on YouTube don't actually consume YouTube. Here's, I think, the key. This is not passive consumption like binge watching, House of Cards, all the seasons on Netflix. That's great too. This is active consumption through the lens of study to better understand your community, your niche, how YouTube works, how the recommended engine works. So I just want to encourage you that to the degree with which you understand your viewer and you can discover their audience's problems and ambitions at greater levels, you will experience more success on YouTube. And if you want to learn more about this article and see from YouTube themselves what they've recommended, there's a link in the description down below. And I want to encourage you, coming up in part 2, we're going to be talking about YouTube recommendations and the algorithm, because this is really just the tip of the iceberg. But you're going to love that next part. So make sure you're subscribed, click the subscribe button, click like if you got value, and definitely check out the free masterclass if you have not watched that yet at thinkmasterclass.com to learn the tactics and the strategies for really making YouTube search work for you. And you'll learn my framework for how you can get views on YouTube and build a real business around your YouTube influence. Smash like if you got value out of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Coffee with Cannell, I'm still here. we're going to probably cut up that first training and paste it somewhere else. And so, hey, did you get value out of that? Did you learn anything today? And let me know your biggest aha moment in the comments section below. We are going to jump into some coffee with Cannell, and I'm excited because we have handmade by Vashnia.
It's actually handmade by Vaishna.
Hang on. Let me turn up the volume here. All right, go for it.
Hi, it's actually handmade by Vaishna. That's the
Vaishna.
That's like
it's good to see you again.
Yeah.
This is your third time on the show.
Yeah, it's actually, it's the third time I've been on the show.
Hey, how are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. I'm actually a part-time creator. I try to balance school and YouTube, so that's definitely one thing that I've been working on. I've also been trying to create content that I can create in the time that's given to me, but that also tries to rank in search. So that's also one thing that's definitely like something I'm trying to work on. But yeah, for me, it's just how do I rank in search with a niche that's very with a niche that's pretty hard to rank in, which is art, greeting cards. I feel like everyone kind of makes the same thing, and some people win, some people don't.
Yeah, that's a great question. And so when you're David fighting Goliath, you need to have specific strategies, and you need to lean on your specific skills. So it's interesting in that biblical story is that David had the opportunity to wear the king at the time, Saul's armor, and use Saul's weapons, which did not fit and which he was not trained on. And so I think he put it on, or he's like, man, this doesn't even fit. I'm going to get slaughtered if I go up against David, if I go up against Goliath using the same old thing, if you will, that everyone else is doing. So instead, he did not wear that armor. He got 5 smooth stones, and he did what he knew best, which was slingshotting a stone at a specific place, nailed Goliath right in the forehead, won the war, and struck terror in the opposing force at that point in time by defeating their main fighter by being a little unconventional. So you have to, and I think there's a book by Malcolm Gladwell that is I would highly recommend. I think it's called like Goliath or something, and let's look it up just because I think it's worth it, because it talks about how companies, Malcolm Gladwell, how companies take down people that are essentially bigger than them. Who would have thought? It's titled David and Goliath, Underdogs, Misfits, and the Art of Battling Giants. So a lot of people watching, I'm sure, can relate to your idea of feeling maybe like these other channels are Goliaths and you're David. And so what I would recommend is trying to cover topics that other people are not covering, but you might say, well, they've covered everything. I would challenge you that that's not true. I would think a couple things: specific product reviews, like what's some of the products that you use for cards?
Well, there's like specific
that are like from Amazon.
Yes. So there's like specific like pens that I use that not many people know unless you're in that niche.
Are they
like Unibelt, Signo, Sakura, Jelly Rolls? These are just off the top of my head. Some people use circuit makers, but that's not like one thing that I usually use. I really try to create on a budget, so I only have a few things. But yeah, like pens, like there's like specific glues that people use, like Tombow Mono Multi-Glue, I believe. So those are just like, okay.
So just by looking at like how to use a Uniball pen, fine liner, studying the competition, but this is a 3-year-old video. Uniball air roller here. These are all kind of interesting, testing different pens. And this particular video got 7,000 views. And here's when you look at something specific like this. It's kind of niche. Maybe there's something there, but not only creating search-based content, but you can start showing up in recommended content when this is what I want you to see. This is that David strategy. It's a specific stone shot to a specific place. It's answering specific questions, and it's going way more niche. Like we're talking about a specific pen, how to use a specific pen. I've done this over and over in tech. It's how I've built to where I am today. It's maybe covering a specific camera or covering two cameras versus each other, or even covering one niche accessory. And here's the key. I'm not suggesting that this is like the only thing you ever do ever. I'm suggesting that this is what you do when you're trying to break through. And you get a couple videos where you're like, man, I never thought my Uniball pen video would have got 5,000 views a year. And over the next couple of years while you're building up your channel, now that's led to 500 subscribers a year. And your 500 subscribers a year will watch your day in my life at UCSC video, because it doesn't even matter as much if that's like search-based or not. But the reason they're like, I was just like looking for a Uniball pen. I found you. And now I kind of vibe with you as well. So it just gives you a chance by having a very specific strategy for going after that particular topic. That's the one strategy I would say. The second thing I would recommend is raise your consistency. Now, I get it. You just said it. I'm trying to juggle school. I'm part-time, balancing school, balancing YouTube. I want to challenge you to get disciplined. I want to challenge you to crank up your vision a little bit. This is not a guilt thing, as in like you're not doing enough. I know school has a lot of pressure. I know homeschool has a lot of pressure. Homework has a lot of pressure, but it's about priorities, and it's up to you. You can put as much energy into your YouTube channel as you want or not, but there is something powerful about if you've got a vision for this and you really want to make this happen, by choosing what events you say yes to, by choosing who you hang out with, by choosing how you spend your time, and by just like I'm sure you make it a priority to study and prepare for the tests that you know you have on the calendar. Make sure that on your calendar, you make it a priority to get your one video out a week. Give yourself grace. It's never guilt if you miss it. But one of the huge keys to triggering search, triggering the YouTube algorithm, getting enough videos that can help you build the momentum so you can grow to hit that tipping point. This was the key for me. Full-time job, balancing family, balancing health challenges in my family, balancing different setbacks and things. I was like, man, I need YouTube to work for me when I'm not working so that someday I'll be able to jump out and do this full time, which is what I did in the path to how I got here. What did that take? Discipline, focus, sacrifice. I had to say no to some things. Now I can say yes to whatever I want to, but I had to say no to maybe just everybody. Hey, Sean, you want to come hang out? I'm going to skip this time because I know I got to shoot videos tomorrow and I need to plan them tonight on Friday night, whatever it is. If you want this to really work, I want to just challenge you to get as disciplined and as focused with your time management. This is not hustle. This is not like in an unhealthy way. It's not burning yourself out. It's just choosing that when you are awake and what you're doing with your time is very strategic. It's a key. And I'm not really just sharing that with you. I'm sharing that for everybody watching, because everybody, whether it's school, it might be kids, it might be 3 newborns in diapers, it might be working 2 jobs. We all have to get really disciplined with our time if we want to have maximum impact when our time is limited.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wow. Mind blown.
Is that helpful?
Yes, for sure.
Hey, I appreciate you so much. And thank you for being a part of our community and coming on Coffee with Cannell once again. I think you were on Think Marketing Q&A last time with Heather, but it's awesome to see you hanging out over here.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Smash like if you've been getting value, and let me know, how's your time management going? Are you doing well with your time? Scale from 1 to 10. If you're here live, drop in the comments. 10, you're crushing it. You have your calendar scheduled on something like Google Calendar. You're being disciplined with your time. You're avoiding time wasters. You're interrupting interruptions. You're saying no to lesser tasks and things that don't matter as much. That's a 10. A 1 is like, I'm pretty much just going with the flow and getting kicked around by my schedule. Scale from 1 to 10. How's your time management? 10 is really good. And 1 is not very good at all. Corey says, what do you think about 2 times a week versus 3 times a week? Corey, I think it's about quality over quantity, and only increasing the quantity of videos when you can keep the quality high. Corey, I would rather make 1 great video this week that is just like we discussed in this training. Search-based, great title, great thumbnail, and has the potential. I know that the topic is actually being searched for. I know that people are actually looking for it. And I know that if all goes well, people will watch it for weeks, months, and years to come. I would rather spend more energy creating a video like that than trying to hit a target of even 2 or 3 videos a week. What do I think of the difference between 2 a week versus 3? 3 is better. Think Media does 5 a week, but Think Media also has multiple creators, Nolan and Omar and Heather and Mel. And so you're not comparing to the amount of outputs and uploads. You got to keep quality high. I would rather, if I was all the way back down to solo creator, and didn't have Tony and, like what Think Media has become, I would be really focusing on 1 a week first. And I would only increase the volume when I could get my systems. By the way, when I'm part-time, 1 a week, I think is actually the most practical. I don't know many people if they're juggling multiple things. When I started to do more than 1 a week, it's once I'd already gone full-time. And eventually I hired an editor, even just part-time. I was working with an intern that just lived here in Vegas and over the summer. And then I started paying him. Then I started paying him more. And that was once I had already started having money coming in from YouTube ads and affiliate marketing enough to scale. So that's why what we say here at Think Media and Think Marketing is 1 a week is your goal. And not so much even to increase from 1 a week, but to make sure that 1 a week is great and you're doing all the other things that we talk about in thinkmasterclass.com. Because what orbits around the 1 a week, are you answering the comments? Are you making sure the video is great? Are you researching well? Is it a great thumbnail? Are you going deep on it? If I'm also solo, here's the exception. If I went back right now and I had a full-time job of 35 to 45 hours a week, and I wanted to build up my YouTube side hustle, my schedule would probably be 1 upload a week and 1 live stream a week. I would probably try to upload a video every Tuesday, and then I would go live every Saturday morning on a consistent basis with some type of show, not unlike Coffee with Cannell or something else relevant. Could be short, could be long, but quality over quantity, Corey, is what I would say without question there. All right, Bartlow's Barbecue, what's up? Hey,
man.
Where are you from? What's your channel about? And how can I help?
Awesome. Hey, so good to be here. My name's Scott, and I'm Bartlow's Barbecue. I'm in Oklahoma City, and my channel is all about teaching people the basics of barbecue. Do barbecue tips, recipes, reviews on smokers, all sorts of stuff related to barbecue.
That's amazing. And such a great example. You are already experiencing everything we talked about in this training. Yep. YouTube, you already have channel authority. It's growing. Your trustworthiness on a particular topic, your authoritativeness, and YouTube is seeing that. And we could see 5 uploads, roughly 1 a week, 184 new subscribers in the last month and 13,000 views in the last month. Really well done. And it's awesome to see the quality of what you're doing on your channel. What's your question today?
Well, one of the things that I'm just realizing through this community is what you were kind of talking about, niching down, and we were just kind of in the private chat talking about this. I discovered about a month ago, just following the barbecue trend within my community, put out a new accessory, and I jumped on that trend. So this is more of a how do I leverage that video that for my channel went really well. So I'm almost at 10,000 views on that video within a month. And that was based on a trend that was happening. It's the, there he goes, the 9,200 video.
Yeah, phenomenal.
So I'm trying to figure out how to continue to leverage that success. And for the longest time, when I first started YouTube, I was just doing recipes that I wanted to do. And then through your community, realized my community likes more product reviews more than just recipes. So I kind of had to switch gears. So the past like 15 to 20 videos, you see a major switch. And in the content related to barbecue. So that was kind of a cool aha moment. So I just want to keep on learning how to leverage those successful videos.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so first of all, you're doing really well. And as far as like some practical tips is, I think it's not either or in the case of the content you're creating, it's both and.
Yeah.
I think it's defining that there's different types of videos. Some videos should really be made to attract new audience, meaning you jump on a trend, they don't know you, they know they're looking for the Kamado Joe Classic 2 slow roller. That brought in 9,200 new views. I'm sure it led to new subscribers as well because it reached outside of your audience. It is okay though, and not only okay, but important to also create videos that go deeper with people who are already subscribed. Never forget that once you've earned a subscriber, it still matters, good title, good thumbnail, because if the video falls flat and your subscribers don't click on it, then it won't even be shown to your other subscribers. But people have raised their hand to say, all things barbecue, show me the recipe, show me the thing, and they're going to choose. So therefore, some videos are for strangers and some videos are for subscribers. And your goal is to help a stranger say, man, this guy's cool. I want to subscribe and be a deeper part of your community. Some videos also might eventually be having people eventually jump into like your free cookbook or buy your real cookbook, or, you know, go to a barbecue event that you want to do or whatever. And maybe that video falls super flat. It doesn't get 10,000 views, gets 200.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. Like the point was, hey, we're doing a meetup and we're going to be barbecuing together. The videos just have different purposes.
Yeah.
So the first thing I just want to encourage you is to give yourself permission to not get too focused on constant growth, but also to get essentially also focused on the nurture and to allow your creativity to be expressed. Still do the El Pastor video, still do these other videos that you potentially want to do, but at a balance of the videos that will help your channel grow. And then the second tip, how do you leverage it, is when you have a winner, you got to make part two. Whenever you have a winner on your channel, think about what part two is, or think about how you could spin it into a series. For example, you know, Think Media existed right when the M50 came out, the Canon M50, which has basically now become an iconic camera. Almost like the Jordan 1s, like shoe. The M50 is known, it's searched, it's liked. Now the Mark II is out and everyone's frustrated, but for better or worse, it's one of those cameras that's just iconic. And so not only did we cover it when it came out, but once it did really well and we saw that it was doing well and we saw the search volume and we saw the interest and we saw that people love it, we've probably done 30 videos that have been somewhat related to the M50 now. How to do photography with the M50, how to shoot video with the M50, best accessories for the M50, video tests and 4K video tests and slow motion for the M50. We haven't really done these, but I see other people do these. 2019, is it still worth it to buy the M50? 2020, is it still worth it to buy the M50? Like you can keep talking about the thing that clearly is doing well in your channel. And here's a big key. Your biggest video, 9,200 views, has probably led, chances are close to, or is the biggest trigger of the most subscribers to your channel.
Yeah.
That's another good, right? So that's another good point.
Yeah.
They probably want to see like, okay, I watched it. He said it's worth it. I bought it. So chances are it's been 2 weeks. Now it's at their house. So now when you say like 3 cool ways to use it, part 2, and spin off videos that go deeper on that topic that is doing well. Essentially, to summarize, the tip is either how do you create a part 2?
That's great.
Or how do you even create a series, a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, based off certain things. And so we continue to do both at Think Media. We do a video that maybe also it's going to be super helpful. We want it to be in the world. We want it to add value. We want it to live on our YouTube channel. So if somebody tweets me someday, I could say, yeah, we've answered it in this video, but it doesn't blow up. It never does super well. It's an El Pastor video or some other niche video, right?
Yep.
Conversely, when we see these spikes, these bright spots of growth in certain videos, we then go, our response is, let's double down. Like what's double down? What does doubling down on this look like? What does it look like to talk about this more? What does it look like to spin this one video into 10 more over the next 10 months? And that's one of the best ways to leverage a breakout video.
That's awesome. Follow-up question. Is it wise to utilize similar title from that successful video in the series that I might do?
Absolutely. But it doesn't need to also be like, is it worth it? The similar title, in my case example, is Canon M50.
Yeah.
That is the signal, seeing the camera in the thumbnail, seeing the title of the camera. In your case, it's probably just Kamado Joe Classic Slow Roller.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But is it worth it is not what it's about this time. It's like how to use it, or step by step or something. You know what I mean? And so let's land a plane with the tip. Look at this. An assembly video is interesting. You've already unboxed it, which you've maybe already crossed that one, but now it's telling us how to do pizza in it. That's one video. Now it's telling us how to do a big grenade. That's another video. Now it's saying the classic versus the Big Joe. So I'd be ordering up the Big Joe and I'd be doing that versus video. And with the views you've got, I would camp here. Like if I'm you, this is a good synergy on this Coffee with Cannell. I would do exactly what I just said. Like this would be my next 4 or 5 videos that we are seeing be revealed here just by using YouTube search predictions.
Yep.
And then to that point, brisket on the Kamado Joe Classic, etc. To that point, I like to batch produce videos. So my way of releasing videos would probably be to buy that comparison thing, to get some food ingredients, and to try to shoot all 4 to 5 of videos I just recommended on one Saturday and just smash them all, get them all batched, and then release those over the next 10 weeks, every other week. And then the following Saturday, I would do 5 other videos about something else that alternates between those, or something else. Does that make sense? So I would batch them, but then I'd maybe spread them out, because then every week they'd be like, when did this become the Kamado Joe channel? Like it's like Think Media is not the M50 channel, but whenever we release M50 videos, they're peppered throughout the release schedule. That would just be leveraging the strategy of batch producing to cluster your activities and your behaviors together. And even your purchasing and your reinvesting in the channel, if you were to buy the comparison smoker, or by the way, with the 10K views, email the company and be like, hey, I want to do a comparison between this and your thing. Like, here's a video I did. And with 9,200 views, they're probably like, oh yeah, we'll send you a review unit. So spending some time to work on that and go deeper into this one thing to keep, pulling the value out of it, the momentum out of it. And without a doubt, the interest. Here's the final, I think, important thing that ties into this topic. Crazy thing is, it's not even just about subscribers when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. It's about consumption. So here's what I mean. I think all of us will relate to this once we watch YouTube for a while. As soon as you consume a video, you don't subscribe to the channel. You can. I watched this like crazy. These 2 guys making music on beat machines, playing saxophones, playing drums, singing, looping everything. And my wife and I and son were like, this is amazing. We watched the whole 9-minute thing. Guess what started getting recommended to us afterwards?
That same video. That channel.
More music, more videos by the same artists, other popular videos. So the fact that this video has so much viewership on it, even if people didn't subscribe, when you upload another video about Kamado Joe Classic 2, chances are that will be when you show up on that person's homepage again, is when you come up with a similar topic, a part 2, a part 3. And so all that to say, this has been some super tactical stuff for you that I think you could apply and use to even grow your channel faster.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's so awesome. And it hits the topic today, even gaining authority within my niche. So I appreciate the advice.
My man. Hey, thanks so much for coming on Coffee with Cannell. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right. Take care. All right, my friends, listen, I've got some family stuff to do today. So I know a lot of people jumped on, and normally we sometimes go 90 minutes, 2 hours. Last time we went 3.5 hours, but James, Jonathan, Jacob, Marcus, Wendy, Diana, Ricky, and Man Slimmer, let's hang out on a future Coffee with Cannell. If you're just joining, watch the replay. The first part was very tactical on YouTube search. And I think you'll really enjoy that. And then, smash like if you got value out of the content today. I'll answer a quick question. I see that you have YouTube Premium. Is that important? It's not going to influence you as a creator, except that I believe it will, because if you can afford it, time is important. And when you have YouTube Premium, you do not have to watch ads. And I watch a lot of YouTube, right? And so by having YouTube Premium, of course, you also get access to their originals, which I think they just made public. But no, you don't need it for creating content. You may be like, man, I'm counting every dollar right now. But time is money, and it's nice to save time. And so I would never not pay for YouTube Premium because I do not have ads. And I also get to listen to just the audio. I think on Android you could do this, but I get to listen to just the audio when I shut down the YouTube app, dark screen. And I listen to a lot of leadership, I'm sure like you, educational marketing content. I started on YouTube, shut my phone down, and let the audio play. I believe on iPhone and maybe even Android, unless you kind of hack it, YouTube Premium lets you do that. It also lets you download your videos. So if you're going to get on a plane, you can download the videos and then watch them. And you're like, no one's getting on planes right now, bro. Okay, I get it. But anyways, there's YouTube Premium will not help you rank your videos or anything, but it has a lot of benefits. And I don't even hesitate to pay $10 a month or whatever it is for it. Smash like if you got value today. Coffee with Cannell. Our mission here at Think Media is to help 10,000 people create a full-time living doing what they love while making a difference in the world with online video. Thinkmasterclass.com and show notes in the description down below. I am Sean Cannell, and this is Coffee with Cannell, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.